Hey everybody, thank you for joining me again. So one of the things I'm going to talk about here is emotional eating, and that is a very sensitive subject. The reason I wanted to touch on it is because I think that people tend to avoid talking about it because it is sensitive. It deals with people's emotions, where serious things, trauma, things like that can just make it touchy. But you know what? It is real. It is a real thing. It is something that people suffer with. And I've done a little bit of research and done a little bit of studying on emotional eating. Tend to be one myself, now not significant, but a little bit. I've dealt with that through certain periods of my life where I chose to eat instead of deal with my emotions or let them get to me. So all right, so one of the things I wanted to touch on is what is emotional eating. There is a big, huge difference between full-on depression and emotional eating. If you have full-on depression and it's clinical, then you need to talk to your professional. Emotional eating is where we suppress or soothe negative emotions. We have triggers, whether it's relationship conflicts, work stressors, fatigue, health problems, money problems is a big one. And then food serves as a distraction, okay? The effect is only temporary, but the outcome is guilt. The outcome is, going through the cyclical process of trying to get healthier, trying to do better. You fall back onto your emotions, you get into your cabinet, you get a piece of chocolate out, and then you just start over. And then you go through that guilty process, and it's a very vicious cycle. So I wanted to come on here and give you a few tips about emotional eating. First of all, I want you to write down your goals. I know a lot of this is going to sound silly. You're like, Tara, that sounds ridiculous. Why would I need to write down my goals? Well, 42% of people are more likely to succeed, or 42% of the time, you're more than likely to succeed if you write your goals down. Keep a food diary. That's the second thing. Keep a food diary. Write down what you are eating in a day, or log your food. Because when you're logging your food, I like to use the Carb Manager app for myself. I know what I'm eating through the day, and I'm really kind of hard on myself later in the evening when it's easier to slip up, because I know I have like this much space left, in my carbs, or this much space left in my fats, or calories. So you have to, really document what you're eating, document your feelings, okay? When you're writing down those emotions that make you reach in the cabinet and grab a ding dong, write those emotions down. Why are you having a bad day? Why do you feel bad? Why are you going into this cycle for yourself? It's an outlet for you to get those feelings out versus put food in your mouth. Writing it down is an outlet. It gets it out for you, okay? Managing your stress. This is a big one. There's several different ways to manage your stress. Exercise, go outside, take a walk, meditate, deep breathing. There are also some natural supplements out there to help reduce stress naturally, because that is just one of those things that's going to keep you from having those emotions. When you have stress piled on of emotions, it's an outcome of those triggers we talked about. Managing your stress will help you be more successful. Recognize when you are physically hungry, if your stomach is growling, versus I have an emotional trigger. You may feel after a while that you are hungry, like, if you're having one of those days, you may feel that you're hungry, but if your stomach's not growling, then you're not physically hungry. So it is very important to distinguish the two, write those things down as well. And one of the biggest things I am going to promote here is support. Having a person or a community to support you through this. Now that's where it gets a little sensitive. That's where it gets a little hard, because you're having to admit these problems. You're having to admit these emotions. And the support system is going to help keep you accountable. The support system is going to be there for you when you're having a hard time, a friend, a friendship. They're going to be there to help you through it, talk you through it, and give you that positivity that you're needing at that moment. Because we all know with emotional eating, that is that ugly cyclical process to where you divulge, you have guilt, you start over. So it's just something that I think support is one of the biggest things. And don't get bored. Do not get bored. If you get bored, you eat. If I get bored, I eat. I don't know why we go straight to the cabinet when we get bored, but insert an activity. When you feel like there's nothing going on and you're feeling that urge, insert an activity. Go outside, go weed your garden, do a crossword puzzle, watch Netflix, just do something to divert boredom. And then lastly, one thing I want to talk about is take away the temptations. Don't keep ding dongs in the house if you feel like that is your go-to. I don't keep pop in my house. Don't have those things accessible. Have something similar to that may be a healthier option, whether you make homemade fruit bars and freeze them, or you keep yogurt or fruit, just something that could replace that slip up versus, just going all out for the chocolate bar, the Hershey's bar, or the ding dong. I keep Chalk Zero in my house because that's something I can order off the internet. It's expensive, but at the same time, if I'm having a moment, it replaces the problem and it's a less toxic choice for me. Okay. So again, I would love to talk to any of you who feel like that emotional eating is part of your problem, because there are solutions and there is help. A lot of things, my theme to this class is ripping off the Band-Aid. And a lot of times, doctors will prescribe medicine, to reduce, diet pills. Like there's some awful stuff out there, y'all. And, going through and just fighting the cyclical battle. This is a long-term way to healthily manage the problem, which is the triggers that you have from emotional eating. So definitely, I would love to talk to anybody personally. You don't have to jump in the messenger and go, I am an emotional eater and I have a problem. I need to talk. You don't have to do that. Just send me a private message and we'll set up a time to talk about it and see if I can help you set up a plan to manage emotional eating. So thank you for your time, and I'm excited to move on to the next topic. Thank y'all for participating. I really do appreciate it.